Welcome back to my channel. My name is Becca. If you're new here, I am a stay-at-home mom of 2, and on my channel I do like to include any home updates that we're doing. I love to DIY, especially from Dollar Tree, and I do like to make motivational mom content. So if you are anything like me and you watch cleaning videos to motivate yourself to get stuff done, you are here at the right channel. I know that we have a few new subscribers, so welcome. Thank you so much for sticking around. Today I'm just going to share with you, we recently painted our master bathroom. We had a ton of paint, probably about a half a gallon left over, so we just decided to go ahead and paint our son's bathroom, which is also the guest bathroom. My husband and my son actually picked out this color. If you think of a shark, that's exactly what this color looks like in person. It's a really pretty blue. So I just went ahead and painted the bathroom, and I am going to share quite a few DIYs. I actually picked everything up from Dollar Tree. My sons are super little, and like I said, this is a guest bathroom, so I didn't want to stick with the theme and go all out purchasing decor that was going to break our bank if within, a year, 6 months, I don't know, maybe even a month, if we don't like it. Eventually, I do need to find a shower curtain. I honestly just haven't found one that I like. An overview of what the bathroom looks like now. It added so much warmth to the bathroom. I actually don't feel like I'm in a very sterile environment anymore. Our whole house is painted in flat white paint, so if you know you have toddlers, it is an absolute nightmare. I keep magic erasers in every crevice of our home, so I'm just excited to get paint on the wall. And into the DIYs again, I purchased everything from Dollar Tree. I absolutely love to DIY, so here's just kind of an overview of what I purchased. This nautical rope, I actually like to unwind it. You get almost 3 times what you're paying for. They have so many beautiful wood pieces that you can DIY with. They are on the thinner side, which may not be for some people, but when I craft, I absolutely love that because it will only require a command strip. Those are my absolute favorite. I will move stuff around until my heart is content. I don't like things to be imminent because I'm extremely indecisive. I probably spent under $20 for all of these items, and I kind of just got what I liked, and I like to DIY on the fly. I think about what I want and then kind of just go with the flow and see what happens, and that's usually what happens. So we'll get on into the first DIY. I absolutely fell in love with the wheel and the anchor that I found at Dollar Tree. I bought all of the paint from Dollar Tree, oh my goodness, months ago. For other DIY projects, I did an Easter, spring DIY. I've used this paint forever. I love it. It's not as great as other acrylic paints I've used, probably from like Walmart. They're not super thick, but I am just trying to use them because I did purchase them and I don't like to throw them away. I eyeball a lot of stuff. I just kind of mix it until I get a color I like instead of repurchasing. So I just used what I had to try to create a stain, and I put it on pretty thick. Paper towels are my best friend sometimes, so I put it on super thick and then I wiped it off, and I did this several times just to get the look that I wanted. It was a little too dark and a little too light, so kind of just played around with it. And this MDF, I don't know if it's MDF or a cheaper version of that, it's really thin, and sometimes there are spots that take the paint and some spots that don't. I did lose quite a bit of footage, but there was actually footage of me. I kind of whitewashed it. I didn't like how dark it was up against the blue. So the same exact technique, I literally just slapped on the white paint, wiped it off with a paper towel until I got the effect that I like. And I kind of like that they're not exactly matching. And then I took the nautical cord, I unraveled it. It comes raveled like 3 times. You can keep it thicker. I was just trying to maximize how much you get, and it was honestly too thick to wrap around the anchor. And I literally just cut the amount that I think that I needed and hot glued it to the back and wrapped it around both sides, and it turned out super cute. I did have some other sort of, I don't know if it's twine or ribbon. It's not ribbon, but it was this other nautical rope that they had. I loved it. I tried to kind of just play around with how it was going to look on either item. I didn't like it on the anchor. I like the anchor with just the sort of white nautical cord. I tried wrapping it around the wheel probably 3 or 4 times, as you'll see. Just don't be afraid to play with things, and don't get so set on an idea. If you have it and it doesn't work out the way you wanted, try something until you like it. I started these DIYs probably a month prior, and things just kept getting in the way, or I just wasn't in the mood to craft, and it's okay to set things down and pick them back up. So needless to say, I ended up just making the nautical rope match, and I kind of liked how simple they looked. They weren't extremely loud. There are other pieces that I'm going to be making that actually have more color in them, so I kind of liked that these were muted. Again, I did add a little bit more of the white paint to the actual anchor just to kind of make it a little bit less brown. It was a little, like I said, too dark up against the paint that we put up on the wall. So this is how these pieces turned out, and I absolutely love them. So like I mentioned earlier, moving on to the next pieces, when I am shopping for like DIYs or crafts, I kind of just gravitate to what inspires me, so to speak. So whatever I like, and I tend to go with like the same colors or the same family. Scenario, it was just items that were all from the Nautical line and things that I liked, sort of the same color family. And I didn't necessarily like the home signs. I mean, they're going in the bathroom, so it didn't really make sense to hang a sign that says home in my kid's bathroom. But I do love, there are certain Dollar Tree signs that have amazing wood backgrounds. I know they're not real wood, but they look great. And thinking about it, looking back, I wish I would have got ones that matched. Again, I didn't know what I was going to do with them, but these canvas pieces I am absolutely in love with. They're super small, so hanging them on the bathroom wall, they just didn't pop like I wanted them to. They're beautiful for $1.25. Honestly, like, you can't beat that price. So I ended up just playing with them, and I actually loved how they looked set in the actual wood frame. I just hot glued everything. Again, I'm super temporary when it comes to decor, so I don't like to make things permanent. You can use E6000 to make sure that nothing ever moves, but if I decide later down the line I want the canvases on something else, then I can just pop them off, scrape off the hot glue, and move on. So this next DIY was super simple, and honestly it was just really fun to kind of play around with something that I've never used before. This small sign I did pick up from Dollar Tree. It's extremely heavy. It's very well made, so I was super excited about something to just kind of sit near the sink next to a piece of greenery as a pop of fun for my kids to look at. My oldest is starting to read letters and sounds, so again, it's just something that he can look at while he's brushing his teeth, and honestly it's just super cute. I couldn't leave it on the shelf. So Dollar Tree has these chalk pens or chalk markers. I don't know what they're called, but it's almost like a waxy chalk, and I've never used it before. I'm super late, but I did decide to pick it up, and I absolutely love how it wrote. It was amazing to use. So I kind of just outlined the If you're going for more of a coastal look, it was actually really pretty with just the chalk marker and the natural wood. But I did notice it smear. I have little kids that are going to touch this all the time, so I just slapped some paint over it. And I have this Crayola paint I've been trying to use up and get rid of. So I just used some of the blue and white paint, and I just wiped it on with a paintbrush, wiped it off with a paper towel as per usual until I got the desired effect. Lastly, not a DIY, but there were flowers in here from a spring DIY I did. Things like this, I always focus the floral in the front. I never bothered to arrange the back. One, it saves money and no one's ever gonna see it. This is how the bathroom turned out with a little bit of paint and an imagination. You can literally do anything on a budget. I am so excited to see what I can come up with next. I think my next project is going to be our laundry room. I love that it added just a little bit of pop of color and a bit of whimsy for my kids to look at. If you like this kind of video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. I upload 2 to 3 times a week. And let me know if you're DIYing anything in your home, if you have any new projects coming up, and I'll see you in the next video.